You guys were in sync.
So, okay, so you're home now. Came on the bus.
Well, on the way out, we rode on a train. And that was a wonderful ride. I loved that train. It was so smooth, you couldn't even feel the cracks in the rails. And so coming home, they said you're allowed so much money to come home, and you can go on a bus or you can go on a train, whichever you want to go. If I went on the train, it would cost me like $5 more to go on the train than it would the bus.
If you'd have asked me, I'd have told you to get on that train.
So I took the bus to save $5, but we didn't have any other money. I should have taken the train.
You should have.
I could have laid down in a berth and gone to sleep. But I took that blasted bus. 31 hours.
Versus what in a train?
Well, the train would have been roughly the same, but it would have been a lot more comfortable. Not only the seats you're sitting in, but I got to sleep in a berth, you know. And that was awful. Just to save $5.
And I had a little money saved. I don't know how much, was very much, because I went and candled eggs at a candling egg place. It was the most sickening job I ever did, but it made me more money than in that dime store, so we could have a little bit when he got home.
On the way out of Otana, I was working in Oklahoma City at the time, and so the elders took me down to the bus depot and put me on the bus to go home. And the first stop was 30 miles out of town in a place called El Reno. And at El Reno is where there's a federal prison. And we used to go to that prison and meet with LDS boys, because that prison was sort of the western first federal prison in the West. We met several young men there that would come to our meetings, and of course the reason they come to the meetings is they got out of prison duty. And when I got to El Reno going home on the bus, one of the prisoners got on the bus that I had met there at the prison. So, but he got in and sat down at one of the seats, and we were like 10 seats back, or I was that far back. But the next time we come to a place where the bus stopped, I went up to him and tapped him on the shoulder, and he turned around and he was white as a ghost. When I tapped him on his shoulder, I think he thought the marshals were after him. We got off the bus, and I talked to him just a minute, and he would not talk. He would not respond to any of my questions. He didn't want me there at all.
Did you still have your badge on and that money?
No.
I bet you did.
So we went on the bus ride, and we got to Manassas, Colorado. Manassas, Colorado was where Jack Dempsey was from. You ever heard of Jack Dempsey?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was the town that he was from. And I thought that I had gone into the Celestial Kingdom. Well, I got to Manassas. I mean, I'd heard of Manassas, Colorado all my life. But this kid got off at Manassas. And he was not from Manassas. He was from California or Oregon or somewhere like that. But he got off at Manassas.
Was he not wearing prison garb?
No. He had regular street shoes, street clothes. But he had just enough money to get him home. So I don't know what he got off in Manassas for.
He had to get away from you.
Never. Yeah, I wondered about that. Boy, he probably thought I was on there to check on him, that I was spying on him. But that was really weird. We got to Salina, Colorado, and I went. The bus depot was about a block from there was a flower shop. So I walked down to the flower shop and had a bunch of flowers sent to Jerry. She was going to meet me there in Salt Lake that night. And because we'd already gone one night, It took 31 hours, so we slept through the night one night on the bus. The next night I would be in Salt Lake at about, what was it, 10 o'clock? Late. We got to Provo, and I think they had a 30-minute layover in Provo. I'd never been to Provo before. I knew that's where BYU was. And I could not stand being in Provo because 30 minutes down the road with my wife waiting for me. Well, an hour down the road.
I was going to say a little longer than 30 minutes.
So we got on the bus and I had my stuff. I had a hat up here and a briefcase here and a suitcase back and further. I scattered all over up there on the top of that bus seats.
And knowing you, you went and picked them all up 30 minutes before that thing stopped.
I tried.
And bundled them all on top of yourself.
I tried. I started picking everything up to have it one place so I could get off the bus real quick. And the bus driver says, "Sit down back there."
That's kind of like what I do, isn't it? He always has to be 30 minutes early at least.
So we got to
Everywhere.
the Draper Junction, and there was a sign on the side of the road that I noticed, 17 miles to Salt Lake City. And I was so excited. I only had 17 miles to go, but it took forever to get there. And we pulled up at the depot, bus depot. And if I remember in those days, it doesn't matter where it was, but it was right in back of the New House Hotel, which is torn down now. And when I got off that bus, there she stood. And I couldn't believe it. But there was my dad, my mother, Fern and Lyle were there, if I recall.
Yeah, I think so.
And
wasn't-
Keith and
I was
LeVay.
going to say they would be there.
But I got off that bus and... Did you run to me?
No, your mother was so anxious to get, I thought, let the mama have him first. So I set the background. She went and hugged him, and then, I don't know if they all went through it or if
That was a great assembly. It was in March, first part of March.
I keep forgetting I'm hiding over there.
That's it?
No,
he
she was
just had
out of
to
frame.
move me over
Oh.
here.
First part of March. The next day we had about 8 inches of snow. The next day, about the 2nd of March. And here I just come from Oklahoma where they never had snow.
Are you through?
But we stayed in the Lunt Motel. LeVay had it all arranged so we'd have a place to have a little privacy.
And his mom said that was so silly. Why didn't we stay at LeVay and Keys? Maybe we didn't want them around. Maybe we wanted to just be with each other. Anyway.
But that was the best honeymoon I've ever had.
You're making him all embarrassed.